Okay, just avoided that potential massive snafu. As always, this is an impromptu video. As you can tell, I am not in my, as of late, typical recording environment. If you desire an explanation for this change in scenery, and are in any way curious why I am recording in the living room, consider checking out the previous episode of my random rant sub-series of videos called I'm Cooking, literally. But I have been watching myself a lot of videos about today's topic here and there. I guess saying a lot maybe is not the correct way of putting it, but I did something similar to this a while ago, which I will explain once I stop delaying that part of the video. So I'm gonna transition here out of the intro. There is something I do want to talk about before we get into the topic of this video. Now, it is customary at this point for me to mention my Mount Merch merchandise store, which I built through the Teespring/Spring platform. Because up until now, that has been the only way that you can support this channel outside of the basic essentials of liking, commenting, and subscribing, which I would highly recommend that you do. This is kind of an inverse of how I usually do things. The reason for that is a rather momentous kind of thing as far as I am concerned, because I recently applied for and passed the inspection, I don't know how to put it, for YouTube monetization. So I can now roll ads at the beginning and end of my videos, and you can apply to become a channel member, and you can also donate, I think, via Super Thanks. And I believe if I live stream through the YouTube live streaming system, you can also send Super Chats now. I'm not going to belabor the rest of the video for this more than I have to. I have applied, or rather, I had previously applied for YouTube monetization not once, but twice. And due to the fact that I will upload movie clips every once in a while, and that was more common when I started last year in March of 2024, the YouTube system, robot, moderators, whoever approves that stuff, saw all that and was like, there's too much copyrighted content on your channel, so you are not approved. And about a week ago from today, for me, not for you, so around June 7th-ish, I was looking at my phone before I went to bed, and I opened YouTube Studio and just on a whim said, what the hell, and I reapplied for monetization just because I felt like trying again. To be 100% honest with you guys, I did not expect to clear the barrier for monetization yet. I did pass 2,500 subscribers sometime recently, which I did do a video on, but I honestly did not expect to have that happen. But I do not want to be a hypocrite. I personally use an ad blocker, and as anyone who is a regular around here knows, I have a regular job, so I do not beg for your money. But the fact is, I didn't even expect to get to this point.
I never thought I'd get this far.
But you can now become a channel member for $2 a month or $5 a month, and each one has pretty limited perks at the moment. This will be the first video that I will make viewable early for channel members. Up until this point, you just kind of have to guess when I'm going to be uploading anymore, because my upload schedule is kind of in upheaval due to my life circumstance at the moment. I'm not going to promise a regularity of uploads, even with the advent of this channel membership access being granted, but I will certainly start to feel a little bit more motivated towards making Godzillabrawler original content if I start to see people become channel members. And no, I don't mean like big numbers, I mean like if I see one person, that will probably be pretty motivating. This is kind of related but not really, but I am officially designating the channel mascot as instead a duology/pairing of mascots. The first is pretty obvious. That would be MS Chan, seen on the left, because I do have multiple sclerosis, and I created MS Chan to kind of personify many of those things, but also I think she's rather cute. And then her best friend, I think, Lyagado, who, yes, is a parody of the king of all monsters himself, Godzilla, but he is legally distinct.
We resemble but are legally distinct from the lollipop. Kill the lollipop.
right now, all of the artwork that I use for MS-chan and Byagado is AI generated. And I know people are gonna hate me for saying that, but money is tight around here, okay? If somehow I manage to get a significant flow of income due to the fact that I am now monetized, there is an artist that I have worked with in some capacity before that I am willing to reach out to upgrade the art for these characters through, but I just wanted to put that at the forefront of this video because I don't want to dedicate an entire separate recording session video to that. I just wanted to thank you guys, and you know, I guess the sky's the limit. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I'm just happy that I passed the benchmark to begin with, so I just wanted to talk about that and just cover the achievement. Okay, so you clearly clicked on this video for other reasons, which are far more topical in nature, and that would be because you want to watch a video about someone building a roster for the newly revealed Arc System Works tag fighting game, Marvel Tōkon Fighting Souls, which I read somewhere is kind of redundant because if you translate Tōkon, it basically means Marvel Fighting Souls, Fighting Souls. I did previously, which relates heavily to the reason I'm doing this video, do a roster prediction for a hypothetical Marvel vs. Capcom 4 shortly after the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics game got announced. As of the time and date of recording this, it's been out for a while. It even got updated, but obviously I, just like everyone else, saw Maximilian Dude and pretty much all of the FGC have their heads explode on camera when Marvel Tōkon was unveiled during the PlayStation State of Play. I did not watch that live, but obviously I saw after the fact that it got revealed. Unfortunately, due to some of the scheduled things that I plan on doing today that are not videos, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time to cover this, but I did want to do a video on it regardless. Okay, that took longer than was necessary. I have a tier maker pulled up. I have several tiers. If I had planned this out better, I would have already put the confirmed characters into the tier. I will link this in the description. I know I always say that I do not plan my videos out very well. Well, this one is exceptionally not planned out. Okay, have the entire base roster in there now. Don't want to take too long with this because there is another video that I do want to record sometime soon, so I'm going to have to regiment out my time as far as editing goes. Yeah, I added a tier just for simplicity. I'm just gonna drag these guys in there. As much as I like Abomination, he's not getting in over Hulk. I think I've seen people say they want Absorbing Man, but that's gonna be a no for me, dog. If I'm not mistaken, I think Adam Warlock was in Marvel Rivals. Not much more to say than that. I've seen a lot of people say the Arrow is really cool. Nah, no comment needed further. I have seen Agent Venom get mentioned. I have a feeling that's a costume. I'm gonna put him in the, like, no-go zone, but that isn't a knock against Agent Venom. Okay, I feel like America Chavez is possible. Let me be clear, though. I put her in UGG right now. Considering the art direction that Arc System Works is going for, they may be able to get her up to alright, considering what they did to Kamala Khan / Miss Marvel. But I'm gonna put her in UGG because much like when Sony Pictures announced Into the Spider-Verse and the fact that Miles Morales was gonna be the main Spider-Man of that movie, my reaction at the moment is very, very negative to the idea of America Chavez getting into Tōkon. But much like with Miles Morales and Into the Spider-Verse, I can see Arc System Works maybe making the decision work later on, you know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
I haven't seen anyone discuss Annihilus, but I don't think Annihilus is even in the question, the picture. I wouldn't be upset if Ant-Man got in. I don't know how they'd make that work in terms of gameplay. Okay, Apocalypse. In many of the videos building a roster for Tōkon that I have watched, it is often noted that this is not going to be Marvel vs. Capcom. So Arc System Works is probably going to try to diversify and do things that have not been done in the Marvel vs. Capcom series yet, or ever will be. So, as a result, I feel like Thanos would probably not make it in that, and if I'm being 100 with myself, maybe that should be one of the distinguishing things, right? I'm gonna put Thanos in no, but that doesn't mean I hate Thanos. That just means that I feel like Apocalypse would be a better choice, you know? Arcade would be cool, but there is no way they're gonna be able to figure out a moveset for that character. I would love to be proven wrong, Arxis. Archangel is a boring X-Men choice. I've seen armor get tossed around in one or two of the videos I've watched, but I'm not interested in armor. Maybe it's just the fact that the X-Men anime season, because it was technically a season of the Marvel anime. Anyway, it was terrible, and she was central to that, so unfortunately, I haven't seen anything good with armor in it, so Arnim Zola is not gonna make it. Banshee doesn't seem like it would make sense. Baron Mordo wouldn't make sense. Beast wouldn't make sense. As hilarious as it would be, Big Wheel is not gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, but Bishop would be alright. I'm not a 90s X kid. Black Bolt would be a choice. I'm gonna echo what a lot of people have said. Black Cat would be amazing. I think they're trying to promote the Black Knight for the MCU or something. He was in the Eternals, which is just such a blight to have on your resume, but Black Panther's probably going to happen. I wouldn't be very excited by it, but yeah, they're definitely gonna go with T'Challa, not Jury. Okay, Black Widow would be awesome. This is going to be a very lowbrow reason for putting her in the awesome possible category, but she's a redhead, much like the illustrious and well-endowed Rhys Gremory from the High School DxD anime series. I could just imagine that in an anime fighter aesthetic environment, such as Marvel Tōkon, it might be a good choice to include Black Widow. For gameplay-related reasons, mind you.
I love them. I've never loved anything more. Boobies!
Okay, here's the first awesome but impossible one as far as I know, / as far as I'm concerned. Blackheart would be awesome.
There's an old saying, raise no more devils than you can lay down. My father raised one too many.
I know Blackheart was in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I said I didn't want to just pick characters for this from Marvel vs. Capcom, but I think enough time has passed. I don't think people really associate Blackheart with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 if they're not like hardcore FGC old heads. I'm gonna put Blade at like the leftmost spot in awesome possible because I advocated for him in Marvel vs. Capcom 4. The Blade season of the Marvel anime was also dog water, but of all the different seasons of the Marvel anime, I think the Blade season was the one which I had the most positive remarks to make when I jotted down my experience watching it in the Marvel document that my brother and I have. Maybe I was just happy to be watching something other than the MTV Blade TV series, the one with sticky fingers. But regardless, I think Blade has a lot of potential in an Arxis anime fighter environment. I mean, I don't even want to put thoughts in my own head about what they could do to make him cool, because I would like to be astonished and surprised by whatever they do, right? Would you just call me Blob? This guy would be a cool, like, assist character for Deadpool if he got in. Bullseye would be cool, but he's impossible as far as I know, and I might as well just say this. I think Daredevil's probably gonna make it in. A lot of people have already made remarks to that effect, so I'm not saying this character does not have the potential to be cool, but I just have never really liked Cable. Maybe it's just because I've tried to rewrite time travel in the context of my brother and I's Marvel document. I'm just not big on Cable. I'm gonna put Captain Marvel into this roster tier thing, whatever. This is for similar reasons as I stated did with Black Widow, where Western comic artists pretty much just draw Carol Danvers like she is a man, at least post 2010. But I will tell you one thing for sure, the Japanese seem very adept at making the Captain Marvel character pleasing to the eyes. So even though I would not personally be very excited by her inclusion, I have no doubt that Arxis would do something with her to make her appealing, so to speak. I feel like I'm really messed up with these tiers because I want to say Carnage would be really cool, but I also don't really think we would get Carnage before we would get Venom. And the reason for that is we haven't really seen Carnage in a two-dimensional fighting game, have we? I don't think we have. Like I said, I haven't done any research into making this video, so I could be wrong. There might be some like random no-name Marvel fighter that Carnage was in, but before I talk about Colossus, they ruined Colleen in season 2 of Iron Fist on Netflix. But regardless, Colossus, I just don't think there's much of a reason to include him over other brawler types. As much as I would like Cyclops, I don't think they're gonna do Cyclops. The anime version of Cyclops was pretty cool. I think there's like a Dazzler cameo, but that's all she deserves. As cool as Deadpool would be, I don't know if I would do Deadpool in this game. I don't know, I just feel like Deadpool is more of a Western sensibilities kind of character. Maybe that's why it would be a good idea to include him. I'll move him in all right. I think I did see someone suggest the idea that maybe they should have him be voiced in English in all localizations of Tokon. I guess that would be kind of funny, right? And he's the only one that would be speaking English in every single version, I guess. As hilarious as it would be, I don't think Dr. Bong would be a very good choice. I'm actually not going to put Doctor Strange in here. I saw a suggestion for who would make sense as a kind of equivalent, which I also think would be well served by the anime art style. Yeah, I'm gonna say Scarlet Witch. I feel like she would benefit a lot from the artistic enhancements. I don't think Dormammu is going to come to Tokon. I feel like that's more of a Marvel vs. Capcom character. Dr. Octopus. I feel like Dr. Octopus would probably benefit a lot
Oh, Rosie, I love this boy.
from being in an anime fighter. I don't have a whole lot of argumentation to back that up, just feels right, you know? We've already got Star-Lord. I don't know how many more Guardians I would necessarily expect, but Drax the Destroyer would be very interesting. I feel like Arxis can do a lot with him stylistically. Like, in terms of a character design, I don't know how the movesets for any of these guys would work in a broader or, hell, even a specific sense, but I would like to see Drax. Dum-Dum's not going to make it into the game. I just want to say here, because I had the opportunity, Blaine Cooper from Predator with Arnold, to me, Jesse the Body Ventura is Dum-Dum Dugan. Whoever they got to play him in the MCU, I don't really care. I feel like of all the Spider-Man villains, I don't think Electro would make the cut for that. Elektra, I don't hate the idea. I'm not going to say out and out that they should do Elektra, but I can see a world where Arxis does something halfway decent, interesting with her. Same kind of deal with Elsa Bloodstone. I'm not saying no. I don't really see the vision, but I also don't know a whole lot about Elsa Bloodstone as a character. Emma Frost, if Marvel Rivals showed me anything, it's that, she would be an asset. I don't know how they would do a moveset for her, but it would be kind of cool. I can see a world where Arxis does something cool with her, but at the same time, I don't really think that Marvel is going to want to overload Tokon with X-Men, and thus I don't want to do that here. What would you even do? I guess, well, she can turn into Diamond, so I don't know, maybe there's something interesting there. I just think that Marvel, even though they have the rights back for the X-Men in general, I don't think they're like gung-ho to use them and stuff yet. I was surprised when they showed Storm. Enchantress, this one doesn't make any sense. This category is either for male characters that I think are really awesome, or female characters whose bust lines would probably be enhanced and well portrayed by a Japanese developer. So, I mean, I guess you could have like the Executioner as like an assist or something. I don't know. I really don't have any sort of idea as to what Marvel's plans are for a lot of the Asgardian characters. We know Thor's gonna be in the game probably. Let me just throw him in since I just mentioned him. Soulless machine, how dare you strike the son of Odin. Falcon would be cool. I just don't really see a reality in which they pick him, especially especially since we already have Captain America, and the brain-dead creatives from the Western side from Marvel probably wouldn't let them use Falcon unless he was Captain Falcon. So for some reason, Fantastic Four is a singular icon here. I'm not saying make them one single character, but I'm going to join the rising tide. Say having the Fantastic Four be in this game is kind of a necessity. Base roster DLC, I don't really care, but it's a 4v4 tag fighter. In what universe is that not the perfect place to use them, right? Then think about it. Firestar would be great to be given a substantial bus line. I mean, to be put into the game. But if they're going to be putting Human Torch in with the Fantastic Four, it would probably be redundant. I have become parched. I've probably been recording this video for a while at this point. Probably going to be a nightmare to edit, in spite of the fact that I didn't want to have a nightmare to edit on my hands, but given how foolishly I am approaching this video, maybe I deserve it. Feel like Gambit is going to be a victim of the fact that, like I said, I don't think they're gonna just dump a bunch of X-Men on us, because I would really enjoy that. I don't think Gamora's gonna make it. As a massive fan of Ghost Rider, I would love to have Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider in there alongside the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, but they have turned the Robbie Reyes Rider into a rather saucy character based on the trailer that they did give us. But I can't be the only one that likes the guy who rides the flaming motorcycle. Like I said, not gonna happen, but I would like that. Dude, Green Goblin's gotta be in there. Can you imagine an anime fighter style Green Goblin? I said in my Marvel vs. Capcom 4 roster that I would like to have Green Goblin in there, I think. Yeah, because I bumped Venom out for him. I would be so happy if Green Goblin got into Tokon. Feel like Groot would be awesome, and they would probably pair him up with Rocket, but we haven't gotten to those characters yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Gwenpool in the game, but what would they even do to make her appealing? I just know that I've seen lots of snippets from Western comics involving Gwenpool, and I'm like, what is the appeal of this character beyond bait? I think I'm just gonna play the clip for this. This is a personal thing.
You again? Come on, you gotta do better than that.
Some people have said Hawkeye, I'm gonna put him in UGG. Not because I dislike Hawkeye, but wasn't he in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Ultimate Marvel 3? I just don't really see a point. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Hela would be cool for the same visual reasons that I have outlined. I like her Rivals design. I haven't played Rivals for the record. Hellcat, nah. Jessica Jones, the Netflix series, didn't do very well with that whole Nexus of stuff. That has nothing to do with Marvel Tōkon, but okay, the Marvel document is going to really bias me here. I think Marvel Hercules would be a really cool character. Not gonna happen as far as I'm presently aware or concerned. Hippo would be a stupid character. Wait, why did I put Hippo there? I'm trying to put the characters I know but don't think would be good choices in the no section, and that kind of like buffer tier is for everybody I just don't know. Hobgoblin would be a skin, probably, for the Green Goblin. I don't really see a world where it makes sense to have Hobgoblin and Green Goblin at the same time. Howard the Duck would be hilarious. I doubt they will do Howard the Duck, but I would love to be proven wrong on that. Hulk, I feel like Hulk, like, in what world do they not do the Hulk? Plus, I mean, Japan is the land of Dragon Ball Z and screaming and getting mad / angry to power up, so that's like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't they do that? Hulkbuster, I guess I'll drop the Hulkbuster in the confirmed characters. I think the Hulkbuster shows up in the Ultimate for Iron Man. That wouldn't be a separate character, but Human Torch, I already talked about the Fantastic Four. I'm just gonna drop them in the Awesome Possible tier, but I won't elaborate on them anymore. Iceman would be cool, no pun intended, but there's another character that's probably in this tier list. Let me see if they're in there, since I'm doing this in alphabetical order. Maximilian Dude said something about Luna Snow. In addition to the obvious design ramification implications, I feel like Japan is more likely to pick Luna Snow as the archetypal ice fighter character over Bobby Drake. Plus, she isn't a mutant slash an X-Man, so she doesn't bloat the X-Man part of the roster if you include her. All I know is that she's in Rivals. No Icarus, just because if you want to play Superman in a fighting game, I would recommend either playing Injustice or that new Invincible Versus, I think is what it's called. Dude, can you imagine Invisible Woman in an anime art style? Honestly, I'd prefer Shang-Chi to Iron Fist. At the time of recording, the Ironheart show is not out yet, but yeah, no. Dude, J. Jonah Jameson would be hilarious, but why would you wouldn't make him a fighter, though?
That's outrageous. Done.
So as much as I want to put him up in Awesome Impossible, I just don't think he would be in the running at all. Everything they did with Mary Jane in the comics, and I guess they are still kind of on and off doing, is awful, so no. I've seen Jeff the Land Shark get thrown around. I know he's in Rivals, I think. I'll be honest, I know like nothing about Jeff, other than he's like a meme character. I just don't see a reason to include him. Jessica Jones, I don't think they would do that. I don't hate Jessica Jones, especially when she is played by Kristen Ritter. I just don't really see a path for that. Joe Fixit, I'm throwing him in as an alternate costume for the Hulk. They gotta do an alt skin for that. Jubilee would be okay, I guess. I really don't know a whole lot about her besides, I mean, I have very legally watched the X-Men 90s cartoon, but I think I got to like right before the Dark Phoenix saga concluded or something to that effect, and I just never finished it. Juggernaut?
Out of my way!
I would actually kind of like the Juggernaut, and Juggernaut isn't impossible, and he's not technically an X-Man mutant. Someone suggested Khazar might be playable because we might be getting a Savage Land stage. I don't really see the point in making Khazar a playable fighter, though. Now that Jonathan Majors is no longer playing Kang the Conqueror, I could see a world where they include Kang. I know that probably sounds contradictory, but they're no longer doing it in the MCU, I think, so I just feel like a time travel kind of character in an Arxis anime fighter art style would be really cool. Kate Bishop would be so lame. If you're gonna do any Hawkeye, just do Clint Barton. No, I don't see any reason why you would do Kingpin. Kitty Pryde would be great in the art style, but that's about all I can see is the appeal. I don't really see point in doing Claw. No, I'm just gonna come out with it. I don't like Null. All the stuff they've done with the symbiotes over the last couple years just get on my nerves. Ronin, there would be no point. Porg, there would be no point. We're already gonna do the Thing anyway. Kraven would be cool. I don't see a world where they do Kraven. That would be neat. It really does put into perspective how many Marvel characters there are when you do it like this. I don't know. Lizard might be alright, but Loki, I feel like Arxis could do something interesting with him. I'm gonna put him in alright, just because I'm not really big on Loki. Like, I can see why they would do him. I do not like any of the Mojo verse crap. We gotta get Luke Cage. I don't know how possible he is, but I would say he's not impossible. I guess Maestro could work as like an alt for the Hulk. I don't really see why they would do that as a separate character. I guess speaking of which, I would imagine Red Hulk just be a skin for the Hulk. Unpopular opinion, I liked the Anya Taylor-Joy version of Magic. As I've said, I don't think they're gonna overload us with mutants in Tokon. Mojo can die. Magneto, alright, I guess. Again, we don't want to be too redundant with Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Man-Thing would be interesting. Oh, the cat just knocked something over. Mandarin would be cool, but I don't think they're gonna do Mandarin. Mantis seems like she'll be like cameo, probably. Like if there's like a nowhere stage, maybe that would make most sense. Maria Hill, similar deal. If they do like a helicarrier stage, maybe she'll show up in that. Marrow, feel like I would enjoy that, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Someone suggested that Medusa would be really cool. Where do I put her? I guess I'll put her in all right. I'm not really ranking these from left to right like I usually do in my Shedding Tears videos. Mephisto, I'm gonna say they should do Blackheart if they do anything. Miles Morales, I feel like since we've already got Peter Parker, it would be a little redundant, but who knows? Dog, there's so many characters. Mirage might be okay. I'd be not upset. Mr. Negative, nah, I'll pass. Mr. Sinister, he'd be alright. I feel like Apocalypse would be cooler, but if you're gonna go for an X-Men villain, you could do worse. Misty Knight, I mean, it would be kind of interesting, especially given the art style, but I think some people have said Molecule Man. Can't remember if it was Absorbing Man or Molecule Man that I saw getting suggested. I feel like Moon Knight, there's something there. Something possible. I feel like Arxis could do something with that. Oh, I'm gonna morb! After what X-Men 97 did to Morph, I don't want that character in there. I feel like Mysterio would be interesting, but if we're gonna have like Loki in there, I feel like Loki's more likely. Mystique, I feel like that would be kind of cool. How possible do I feel like Mystique is? I'm gonna say she's not possible. I highly doubt they're gonna put Mystique in there, but I feel like there's an interesting moveset that could be done for Mystique. I'm not really interested in Namor. Nebula, same deal. Why would Nick Fury be playable? Again, like Maria Hill, he'll be a background character. No. Okay, this one, yep, going all the way to the top. He would be incredibly awesome, and I feel like there's a non-zero chance, because, I mean, he's a sword fighter, right? But he can also teleport. I feel like there's a moveset just like lying in wait. I would be lying outright if I said that I would be interested in Nova. I don't know what Marvel's plans even are with the Nova character. I don't even know a whole lot about Nova. All I know is I definitely do not want the like successor Nova. I want Richard Rider. Odin is not going to be playable. It really makes you wonder why some of these icons even get included in these tier lists. No, I do not want Okoye. Maximilian, dude, you're going to hate me, even though you're never going to watch this video anyway. I don't want Omega Red. No, I do not want him. I did not like Across the Spider-Verse. And if you did, good for you, but leave it out in my comment section. I don't want to hear about it. I wish I could say more about Phastos. I feel like Phastos is a good character in everything else that he's been in, but I watched the Eternals MCU movie and, oh, that movie was horrible. Coulson's gonna be a background character just like all the other SHIELD agents. Phoenix, I mean, okay, like, I wouldn't hate it, but aside from giving her H-cups, I really don't know what about that would be particularly interesting to me. Dude, some of these character names are just so stupid. Prowler was okay. My first exposure to Prowler was in Spider-Man Friend or Foe, which I played on the PlayStation 2. I feel like I would enjoy Proxima Midnight for all the wrong reasons. I don't think she's getting in. Like, look, Psycho Man, Psylocke. Okay, this is an interesting one. Where did I put Elektra? I'm gonna put her right next to Elektra. I feel like if you're gonna do a ninja character, I would probably be more amused if I saw Elektra Nachios. Maybe you could leave Psylocke in the Marvel vs. Capcom arena, you know? Because the X-Men are heavily involved in Marvel vs. Capcom, but Tokon's gonna be its own thing, right? So, Hawk, that is such a... Oh, wait a minute. No, I remember him. He's on Omega Flight, I believe. Alpha Flight. Can you tell I'm starting to get a little tired? Pyro, why? Like, who cares? Quake, no. A lot of people have said that they would be interested in seeing Quicksilver. I'm gonna say I wouldn't be very interested in seeing Quicksilver. That isn't because I have disdain for any of the movie incarnations of him, like I have remarked in regards to certain other characters on this list, but I'm just not really a big fan of the speedster type of superhero. And I know he's not a superhero, but you get what I'm saying. I don't like speedster metahumans. Only reason Radioactive Man isn't going in the No Man's Land tier is because I remember, I think he was like the first boss in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one. Why? I don't see a reason to include the Red Guardian. Why is he on this list? This whole video is just a demonstration in why you shouldn't overload the ever-loving hell out of your tier list maker list. Red Skull, I mean, I guess the novelty would be interesting, but I don't really see a point. Red Wrap, the hell's that? Rhino, I mean, I would be more interested in seeing something like Juggernaut. Rocket Raccoon, I'm just gonna put him wherever it is that I put Groot, because I feel like they'd be like a single character character. So I guess maybe that would be the only way that you could get to like 5 characters on a team. But that's just how I would do it. We're almost there. We're getting there. Oh, well, you know, Rocket / Groot is exactly what should have been there in the first place. Why? Okay, yeah, Rogue, I'm sorry. I know I included her in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, but like, I'm gonna put her up here with, you know, some of the other queens with the impressive measurements. Didn't I already put Ronin in here? No. Roulette. Ruby Thursday. No, but I mean, I'd really be interested in seeing something that uses her well. Like, not talking video games, I just mean like in general. Sabretooth. I mean, I guess he would be kind of cool, but I'm gonna put him in alright. I don't really see a point. I don't really even see a possible path to a future where they would even consider using Sabretooth, but yeah, Sandman's not happening, but I want it to. So I'm gonna put him into Awesome Impossible. I would like Sandman. Sasquatch, no.
No. Wrong.
I've seen a lot of people say they want Sauron. I mean, I guess I'm gonna put him in Ugg just because I don't like the character. Again, maybe they could translate him into the game in a style that is really appealing. Scorpion would be really cool. This tier is basically just who's my favorite and who would I like to see in the game, and I promise I will kind of like hover over the list of the stuff that I like towards the end to make it easier. My brother has made me appreciate Screwball, but there is absolutely no universe in which Screwball gets in. Sentinel's a Marvel vs. Capcom character. I don't think they should do Sentinel in Tokon. I know the FGC would probably have my head for that, but Sentry, I would hate Sentry less than I would hate Icarus for being the like Superman stand-in, but I don't see a point why. I know I've badmouthed the Eternals a lot, but for all the other reasons that I have talked about, some of the shapely female characters, I think Cersei would be kind of neat. Her power set would be kind of cool. I would imagine Arxis would be able to do a lot with that. I don't like the Shadow King. Character's so stupid. Shang-Chi. If we're gonna get any basic, like, hand-to-hand combat fighter, I feel like Shang-Chi would be pretty cool. I mean, he's basically Bruce Lee with superpowers. Like, that's the whole concept. Thought the movie was horrible. My brother and I literally had to walk out of the movie theater for Shang-Chi because we were laughing so hard. Because the movie was trying to make you take it seriously, that they were having, like, this, like, dramatic funeral for Zhu and Wu and all that stuff. But that's not the fault of the Shang-Chi character. I'd like to see Shang-Chi. Dude, She-Hulk would be awesome. She-Hulk would be gas. I'm gonna say she's possible. I imagine there's a world in which She-Hulk gets into Tokon. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if they give us She-Hulk but not Hulk. Shocker, I mean, I like you, but you're not gonna get into this game.
So you must be Quilt Man, Padded Pete, Mr. Triple Ply? Oh, I've got it. The cushion.
I'm the Shocker. I tell you not to forget it, but you won't be around long enough to worry about that.
Shumagorath's in Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't really understand the appeal of the character. And I guess especially if we go with Scarlet Witch instead of Doctor Strange as like the archetypal magician character, maybe it wouldn't make any sense. I know Shuma is in like the background of the stage that we saw in that reveal trailer, so maybe that's even more credence to the idea that Shuma's not going to be playable. I don't like Sil. I'm not going to put her in Annihilate. I just don't like her. Silver Sable, I mean, I could see the design appeal in this context, but it's not gonna happen. Silver Samurai, I don't really know how likely Silver Samurai is, but just because the game's being developed in Japan, I feel like there's like a non-zero possibility of the Silver Samurai getting into Tokon. Silver Surfer, I said that I would have loved to have seen Silver Surfer in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, if you go back and watch that video, but as weird as this is to say, if we're including the entire Fantastic Four plus Doctor Doom, I feel like you kind of want to limit otherwise the amount of Fantastic Four characters you're going to be putting into the game, right? I don't like concept of Scar. Just don't. I really would not enjoy seeing Spectrum, Speed. Isn't that one of Wanda's kids? It's so stupid. Speedball. I like Penance better anyway. Penny Parker and Spider. Rivals already did that. There's like no point in retreading that ground already. Spider-Gwen, Annihilate. I do not like that character. at all. Spider-Ham, no. 2099, alright, I guess. Why is this no, Annihilate. Noir, just gonna put him right next to 2099. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is the only reason for that. This is not like a serious prediction list. This is just me talking. Spider-Punk, Annihilate. Who even are you? Nah. Anime art style. Colossal Cans. Do I think she's possible? I don't really think Spider-Woman is possible, but I would probably enjoy that to some extent. I know I said that I don't want to retread too much of the Marvel Rivals ground, but I would love Squirrel Girl. I know I've joked a lot about the amplification of certain feminine features and how that would be a good reason to include certain characters. While that is still true in that case, I would like to see kind of what the stylistic sensibility difference would be in how they express some of those things. Like, I feel like Squirrel Girl, because of the redesign for Marvel Rivals, kind of got more visibility. I just want to say this. All of the stuff involving Scott Summers' father. Oh, wait a minute. No, Star Fox is Thanos' brother, right? And in that case, as hard as it is to believe, as much as I hate all of the Cyclops' dad in space stuff, Thanos having a brother is even stupider to me. Starhawk. I think I recognize that name. I don't know what your purpose or point is, though, so... Steel Serpent. I think that's the, like, Shadow the Hedgehog to Iron Fist. I've heard a lot of people advocate for Strong Guy. I'm not interested in Strong Guy. Sunspot, I mean, he was honestly probably the weakest part of the New Mutants movie. Not terrible, I just... Super Adaptoid. I think I know who you are. I think Super Skrull. No. Super Giant. No. The Russos didn't even want you. Superior Spider-Man, I guess that could be like an alternate costume. Spider-Man, I guess. I don't want to put anyone up in this top row. Well, I've already done that with the Hulkbuster. I guess I'll put Superior right next to him. Searcher, you're just like Odin. Why are you on this list? Worm. I feel like I recognize that name, but I feel like the Japanese Spider-Man, the Emissary of Hell or whatever, I feel like that's not really a costume you can do because I think they used a lot of the design elements from that version of Spider-Man to inspire the Tokon suit for Spider-Man as it is. Taskmaster, I know I included you in my Marvel 4 roster, but I would just be like, okay, I guess, if you were in Tokon. Stupid character. Punisher would be awesome, and I think he's possible. I'm just gonna put him at the back here. I don't know exactly how or why they would do it, but I would be kind of pleased. The Russian, I don't think is happening. The Spot is not happening, I don't think. The Void, I mean, I already said the Sentry. Where did I put the Sentry? I don't remember. Oh, I put him right here. That would probably just be part of the gimmick, right? Well, who are you? Uatu is not gonna be a fighter. Athena, no. No. I mean, I feel like Typhoid Mary might be cool, but that's not gonna happen. Ultron would be kind of dope. Don't know exactly what you would do. I mean, he was in Infinite, but I'm gonna say he's possible. Although, I think because Doom has the Doom bots right now in Tokon, I imagine that might preclude Ultron from happening. We don't need a bear as a joke fighter. That's for Tekken. Is no point in including the US agent. Valkyrie might be interesting, I guess. Maybe I'd be alright with that. I don't know why you would include her of all people, but Venom. You know, despite the fact that I've put so many different Spider-Man villains up there, I'd just be kind of lukewarm if they included Venom. Be like, alright, I guess. I'd be much more interested if they did Carnage. Vision, I feel like he's not possible, but I would enjoy seeing Vision. Vivian is not going to be her. Vulture is not going to happen. I feel like that's like the one Spider-Man villain I've just been like, nah. I guess Shocker. War Machine has to happen. I don't know. Is he possible or impossible? I feel like they're more likely to do the Punisher to have a gun character, especially because we already have Iron Man in Tokon. So I feel like they'd be retreading a lot of ground in the process, and they could do Punisher to do the untreaded part, which is the gun part. Wasp, I mean, I would maybe have her show up in like the Ultimate for Ant-Man, but I wouldn't do anything else with that. I would not do the Werewolf by Night. What is the appeal of that character? Can someone tell me? Whiplash? No. White Fox? I've heard that name, but I'm not even gonna worry about that too much. White Rabbit? Wait, no, White Rabbit's like a joke Spider-Man villain. villain. No. She wasn't gonna get into my likely list anyway, but White Tiger. No. White Widow? Is that Yelena? I think that's Yelena. No. Wiccan? I think that's Speed's brother. No. Winter Soldier. I don't feel like between him and Falcon, I'd be more interested in Falcon. And I put Falcon in Impossible. So I'm gonna put Winter Soldier in Possible just because I would not be the least bit surprised if we got one of the two. And Winter Soldier would not excite me as much as Falcon would. Wolfsbane. You're not gonna happen. You were interesting in the New Mutants movie, but that's about it. Wolverine. I feel like Wolverine's like a no-brainer. Like, Wolverine has to happen. Wonder Man, I mean, okay, I guess. Alright. Wong is not gonna happen. Just like with everything else, I don't know why Wong is even on this list. X-23, I'll be honest, I didn't really see the point in having X-23 in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I mean, I guess given they're doing a lot of the, like, legacy characters, maybe they would do her instead of Wolverine. I really don't like the idea that X-23 adopts the Wolverine mantle, but, you know, I guess if they gave her an interesting stacked design, maybe I would be willing to overlook it. Professor X is not going to be a playable character. He might show up in, like, the background, I guess, if they do, like, a X-Mansion level. That'd be kind of cool, because with the wall breaks, I guess you could, like, move around the X-Mansion Xavier Institute campus. Yellow Jacket is not going to happen, I would imagine. Jan Rog, like, no. Yondu, no. He might show up as a background character in a nowhere stage, which would be, again, another case where the wall break stage transitions would be really cool. I don't know how to end that sentence. Zadkill. Zadkill is a character from the Ghost Rider comics that I know of. Zemo. I feel like Zemo would be an interesting, like, background character to have in, like, a S.H.I.E.L.D. stage. Like, they have him handcuffed or something, and they're putting him into prison. Or maybe a Riker stage. I don't know, but you get the idea. And then 2 no-names to fill the list out. So, yeah, this is all just characters that I either hate with a burning passion, don't know at all, characters that I either don't think are going to make it into the game as a playable character, or maybe could be like a background character. There are plenty of characters in this section that would be interesting to see in like certain stages. Like I said, nowhere. I mean, I guess you could have a Kunlun stage for Iron Fist and maybe the Mandarin, I don't know. And then these are all the characters that I either would like or expect. And then each tier obviously is my personal bend / feelings regarding them. And then obviously the top row is just either they are in the game confirmed, or I could see them as like an alternate skin or whatever. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I've been recording for 2 hours straight. So you know what? I'm going to wrap that up, because that means if you divide that, about a third of that, so that's what? 120 minutes, 2 hours, divided by 3 would be 40 minutes. So this video is probably going to be just as long as my Marvel vs. Capcom 4 prediction roster video was. And that was a nightmare to edit. So I'm just going to close it out there. I don't want to drag this on much longer. I thought this was going to be a silly little video, and I was just going to do something before I went to my buddy's party later. At the very least, I think I have some vacation time coming up. And at the time of recording this video, I have an appointment with my multiple sclerosis doctor / specialist on Friday. So wish me luck with that. No one stuck around this long to watch this far into the video, but thank you if you did. Anyway, I hope you guys take it easy and enjoyed this video, this absolute monstrosity of a video, which is probably not even going to be topical by the time it comes out. And until next time, guys, I will catch you on the flip side.
And I don't like him.
How about green meanie?
You want to get to him, you got to go through me.